Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video here today and the start of my Formula 2 2019 career mode here today. And you can see on the screen, we are going to be racing in the Sauber Junior team by Charouz. And in terms of the driver in itself, it was quite an interesting one because a lot of you guys gave your thoughts in a video I did at the start of the year. And I've gone for Juan Manuel Correa. It wasn't a very popular one, but one that I've always wanted to use. I feel like Mick Schumacher's very overused and quite typical. I know Ben did Jack Aitken, and also there were a lot of requests for Antoine Hubert, and it's something I could not do because these videos, you know, for me personally, for my channel, for my benefit, are monetized, and I don't feel comfortable monetizing my content at the expense of Antoine. Therefore, I was never going to choose him as a choice. And I thought, you know what, we'll go for Juan Manuel Correa, which is a driver who's had a lot of a hard time lately. And I think it's only fair he gets a bit of a spotlight. So we will be racing with him for the season, and this weekend we are here at Bahrain for race number 1. This weekend running 102% AI in qualifying and 103 in the race. And also this weekend we are running a 50% feature race and a 50% sprint race. The sprint race will be in a separate episode because otherwise the videos will be way too long. So that's going to be the format moving forward. So the sprint race might drop later on or maybe tomorrow. I'll kind of see. But either way, in terms of the rest of things you need to know, the weekends we are running a 30-minute practice session just to get to grips with the track. I'm also running one-shot qualifying for all weekends this season, and like I said, both the race, the feature and the sprint will be 50% races. So in this case at Bahrain, the feature race today will be 16 laps and the sprint will be 12 laps, and that will be in the next video. So hope you guys enjoy it. Have your notifications turned on to not miss any of the two parts of the race weekend on separate videos, and we're going to jump into qualifying here as we get underway for our first qualifying lap of the season here at Bahrain, making our way down towards turn 1. Braking as the curve appears on the left hand side, down to first gear, and the focus on the apex, then quickly back on the throttle. And really important to not lose the back end through here. Very easy to get too much power down, and the V6 turbo in this car will spin you out if you're not careful. You can see we're currently in P12, not the best start so far as we make our way up towards turn 4. Braking as the curve appears on the left hand side again, down to third, possibly second gear. I'll keep it in third gear, and we actually get a very nice bit of traction on the exit, using the curb on the exit there, as we now make our way into 5, 6, 7, and also this twisty section which is all about momentum, and we get a really nice run through there. We hit the front all the way to first place, then a bit of a lock up into the hairpin, losing us a little bit of time, and we briefly got that back down to 8th place and then back up to 3rd on the exit. Now making our way down towards turns 9 and 10, a very tricky left that feeds into a very tight hairpin, very easy to lock up here, and we are quite poor compared to the AI. We dropped all the way down to P13 at one point, but we then recovered to P11, opening up the DRS as Sergio Seta Camera now takes the lead here as we now make our way along the back straight, braking at the 100 meter board down to third gear for this little kind of 90-degree left, but it kind of opens up a little bit on the exit, and then trying to get the power down to fourth gear. Really nice traction there, making up to third place, and now carrying a lot of speed through the long right, and we actually retake the lead as we now get on the brakes across the second sector split. We do run a bit wide there, missing our apex slightly, but we do recover again with a strong exit, and we retake first place as we make our way into the final corner. This could be a great start to the season already as we go into the final corner, braking as the DRS line appears on the track there. Huge lock up on entry, but we managed to just about get the car slowed down and get the power down on the exit, and so far it's looking good as we open up DRS, and it is going to be, I believe, first place as we cross the line, at least from what I can tell, and indeed it is confirmed as we do secure P1 in qualifying here for the first race of the F2 season, ahead of Sergio Seta Camera and also Nick De Vries in third place. So a decent qualifying for us, and a great way to kick off the season because we also score 4 World Championship points, as you can see in the top right hand corner of the screen, and the best possible start for us, and a really solid qualifying. The lap in itself wasn't perfect, a few mistakes here and there, but generally speaking it's going to be a front row and a P1 for the first race of the season here at Bahrain. With that being said, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race, round 1, and the feature race at Bahrain.
Welcome one and all to the 2019 Formula 2 World Championship. A new season and a new lineup of drivers hungry to make their mark on the world of motorsport. Some new names and some returning favourites, all here to stake a claim on the championship title. Bahrain represents an exceptional 3.36 miles of racing. Lots of opportunities to overtake throughout its 15 corners. Now, this track has a reputation for being brutal on the rear tyres, so keep an eye on how these young drivers manage their rubber. Strategy here could ultimately determine the winner of this race. Davide, is there anything we should be looking for in today's race? The teams are all very competitive at the moment, so are we about to witness a push from anyone in particular?
Hi Alex, the team will have been studying everyone else out there very carefully. So I think we are in for a very interesting event today. I can't wait to see how this race unfolds.
Here are the starting positions for today's race. A fantastic effort from Juan Manuel Correa yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sergio Sette Camara alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have De Vries, Delatraz, Nicholas Latifi, and Giotto, Hubert, King, Joe, Mick Schumacher, Matsushita, Aitken, Dorian Boccalacci, and Alesi, Galeo, Mazepin, Ilott, and Ralph Bosch, Raghunathan, and Tatiana Calderon completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race of the Formula 2 season, and today we are here for the feature race, and we'll do the sprint race a little bit later on, but we are starting from pole position and we have 4 points to our name already in the World Drivers' Championship. And in terms of the strategy here today, we are going to start on the soft tyres that we qualified on and then run the mediums in the second part of the race. Fuel-wise, we are locked to 17 laps. You know, the fuel load is fixed in F2, so we can't change that, and we also can't run rich, so the fuel is the fuel, and the only things we can change is brake bias and tyre strategy. So yeah, overall we're running a default setup because that's what I found worked best for me when I was running this car. I'm not too great with setups with the F2, so I'm happy to run default. And like I said, the tyres today, softs onto mediums, a very, very simple one-stop strategy. The target is to win the race, of course, and really get that championship lead out and try to have a good start. But either way, let's get racing and let's get the season underway here at Bahrain. Right, here we go. Full revs, 9,000 RPM as the 5 lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go. Good start from us there. We get away reasonably well, actually. We're going to cover to the inside. We've got Sette Camara looking for a move. Into turn 1, we're going to be relatively cautious as we take the apex. Sette Camara, though, go for the move. Side by side hit through turn number 2 into turn 3. Picking up some oversteer. Sette Camara going for a move, picking up some slipstream. We're going to cover the inside of the turn 4. Up towards the 4th corner, easy on the brakes. Going to hold the line. Sette Camara looking for an overtake, but we do well to fend him off. Latifi up to 3rd place now in the Dams car, but so far so good as we hold on to our lead, making our way now into the 2nd sector. 16 laps ahead of us, 50% race, and then we've got a 50% sprint race after this, which I believe is 12 laps. So let's see how we get on. Either way, it's a good start to the race, but a long way to go. Strategy, of course, will be key, especially those starting on the medium tyres outside the top 10. But it's good from us so far, and we're keeping our challenges behind. Sette Camara keeping me honest, keeping me company, but we should be okay here, I think. He is looking for a move, and he's actually going to go to the inside. He's getting quite a bit of a tow. We have to defend. We do want a bit wide there. That's going to allow Sette Camara through. Bit of contact there as we lock on slightly, but he makes the pass and takes 1st place from us. Let's try and stick with him here and try and get back past. DRS, of course, not enabled until lap 3. But let's see if we can try and get past Sergio Sette Camara here. As you can see, fuel-wise, we've got 1 extra lap. We can't run any rich mix, so this is what we have. Maybe Camara is running slightly lower wings, possibly. That might be the cause for his good straight line speed. Either way, we're going to try and repass him here. Like I said, no DRS, but we are close enough to maybe go for a move, although we seem to be struggling, actually, for any kind of decent straight line speed. We are getting a little bit now, but we're not really close enough, unfortunately, so looks like we're going to have to settle for P2 for now, until maybe DRS is enabled. We're keeping Sette Camara company here. We are staying close. We're starting to pull away from Nicholas Latifi behind, so we're doing okay. But I do need DRS to make a pass, unfortunately. We don't have enough straight line speed to really challenge the Brazilian. As we get a relatively decent exit out of the final corner, but you can see here we're just way too far back and we don't really have enough momentum, so it is where it is.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Pushing hard here. I had a pretty poor start to the lap, but we've had a very strong response through the middle part, and we're on for a personal best in a purple middle sector. If I can just get a good exit here, really focus on the traction, use all the curb on the exit. There we go. That's quite nice, actually. And we're perfectly placed within range of DRS as we set a fast lap of the race and also a personal best. Come on, we're gaining on Sette Camara here a little bit in towards turn 1. On the brakes, it's a late lunge. We're going to go down the inside with a bit of a lock-up. Sergio hanging on, though, on the left-hand side, but we do go around the outside and make the move, and we'll get the DRS as well up towards turn 4, so that should keep us in front. We are seemingly down on straight line speed a little bit, though, compared to him, but that's okay. We can now start to open up a gap. That'd be great. We are scheduled to pit next lap, but we retake first place for now. Let's see if we can actually hold it though, because from what I could tell, Seta Camera had good pace, so we're going to have to work for this. Getting a bit loose through there, trying to push the limits a bit. But we are starting to open up a gap a little bit to Sergio behind us, which is good, as we try to hold on to this lead. I've gotten a bit hot on the brakes there. We've managed to not lock up, but I've missed my apex by quite a bit. But we do get a clean exit, and we've got enough of a gap that I don't think we'll be challenging to turn 1, which is good.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Yeah, we're going to box in this lap, so let's do the job. Camera is gaining a little bit here, but he's not going to be close enough into turn 1, so we're going to hold on to our lead for now.
Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
A very nice end to the lap so far. Sector 2 and the start of Sector 3 have been great. Through the final corner again, that's much better this time. Getting the apex on the gas nice and early. We are going to box in. I believe it's 60 kilometers an hour here, so we've got to slow it down a lot more than usual than compared to F1, but there we go. We get it slowed down. No dramas. We are followed into the pit lane by Sergio Seta Camera, so it's going to be a pit stop battle with these slower pit crews than F1.
Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Go now.
We managed to rejoin in a little bit of a gap, and we do stay in front of Sergio Seta Camera, which is really, really important. There's lots of cars boxing a 6.4 pit stop, but crucially we have the gap. We've actually extended our gap a little bit over Sergio, which is really, really good. So let's try and switch these tyres on first of all.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
I think, let's see, we might struggle with getting the tyres up to temperature compared to the AR. We always have done in F1, so I'm guessing the same will happen in F2. But we're P11, just outside the points. Currently we do own the fastest lap as well, which is pretty good, although we might lose that compared to those who started the race on the reverse strategy. But having said that, things are looking good. And we've actually got a nice gap. Delatraz has actually jumped Sergio Seta Camera here, so Delatraz now is ahead of him, so maybe now it looks like Latifi could be our nearest challenger, who's yet to box. So this could be quite interesting. Either way, we've got a nice 2-second gap behind, so the pit stop phase has been kind to us, and we've actually extended our lead, so that's really, really good. Let's see if we can try and hold it now until the end of the race.
Callum is in the pits. Callum in the pits.
Callum Marnott pits in from P10, and I'm expecting the rest of the cars to be in there, so we should retake the lead. Purple final sector, exactly what we need. And there is Latifi leaving the pegs. It is going to be close, actually. I've gone very deep on the brakes to try and go around the outside, but Latifi's going to challenge us here. On the overcut, Latifi almost makes it work, but we do take P1 back, taking the inside line through turn 2. I had to take a big chunk of curb to stay in front. Latifi trying to go for the move fit. We've got DRS that we hold the inside. Latifi trying to go around the outside. We've got to leave him some room. Through turn 4 we go. We are going to get the power down, but Latifi's still there. But we're just going to hang on, I think, and keep the line through the inside. And there we go. We stay in front for now. But Latifi and De Vries have got themselves into contention now, and suddenly Seta Camera is out of the picture. So the overcut proving to be quite effective on strategy, but crucially we hold on to our lead for now. Yellow flag behind. Something's happened. And he's stirred up a bunch of cars. I think it might be a Campos. No, it's not. It's Nikita Mazepin in the ART. He's out of the race. First retirement. Oh, a bit of oversteer there, having to catch the car. I'm trying to pull away from Latifi and try and open up a 1-second gap. It's going to be pretty close, but I don't think we've done enough just yet. I think Latifi will still just have DRS, unfortunately. Sergio Seta Camera there, setting the fast up of the Grand Prix. So he takes away my lap with a 142.9. That's 3/10 up on my personal best. That's the benefit of DRS, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to beat that unless I get DRS on somebody. But at the minute, Latifi's holding on here, so we've got to defend. Good lap from us now. We're going to set a personal best. I'm trying to pull away. A 143 dead. Latifi's 0.9 behind, so we've almost managed to pull out of DRS range, but not quite. I'm pushing hard here. Bit of oversteer, but I think we've done enough. I think I've cleared Latifi and his DRS. This is a really strong lap from us. Got to try and slow that down a little bit. I'm pushing the limits a bit too much. I've thrown away a bit of time there, but we should be okay to recollect the fast up of the Grand Prix. There we go, 142.6, and the gap is now 1.007, so we've done enough. Still plenty of laps to go though. Another strong lap. The gap is now definitively over a second, 1.2. So now Latifi's got pressure from De Vries to worry about, and we can now focus on really opening up this gap now and securing the race win, hopefully. Another strong lap from us now. The fuel's starting to burn off a little bit. The car's getting lighter. and the tyres are still relatively on side in terms of performance. We run a bit wide there again, but we are going to get a relatively clean exit, and we are going to improve by about a tenth, which is good enough. 42.5, hopefully that will secure the extra point for the fast lap. I believe there is a point for the fast lap in F2, so we should be okay with that. Now we just got to try and see it through to the finish. But we're pretty comfortable now, as De Vries makes a move on Latifi for second place, so that's going to cost him even more time. Here we go, one more personal best on the way, just to really nail down this fastest lap. Into the point fours, and job done now. 2 laps to go, let's bring this one home. I'm just getting faster and faster, I can't stop going quick. Even though I'm coasting, it's going really well. The car's getting better as the fuel burns off. Here we go then, towards the end of Sector 2, into the start of Sector 3 for the final time this race. And it's been a very good opening start to the weekend so far. 1 out of 2 races completed, and it's going to be maximum points, plus the 4 points from qualifying. It is a strong start for us in the F2 Championship, but now we now look forward to the sprint race, of course, which is going to be very interesting. But here we go, checkered flag is out, and we win the opener in Bahrain. What a race.
Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
So another fantastic victory for Charouz today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is, and a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charouz team on top here today.
Right, so here we have the final race results then, and we win the race as Juan Manuel Correa here today, picking up the final lap of the Grand Prix, and overall pretty comfortable racing. Yeah, we struggled in the first part on the soft tyres, but the mediums were much better as we win ahead of Nick De Vries and Sergio Setecamera. In the end, Latifi finishes 4th outside of the podium ahead of Louis Delatraz, and then we've got Zhu in P6 ahead of Aiken, Schumacher, Giotto and King rounding out the top 10. And then missing out the points we have Hubert, Matsuchita, Boccolacci, Galal, Calderon, Boschung, Alesi, Raghunathan, and then my teammate Callum Ilott, who finished last, even behind Mahavir Raghunathan. So Callum must have had some kind of issues in that race, because that was a really poor performance from him, and quite a way back. Nikita Mazepin, the overtop of the Grand Prix here today. And in terms of the standings, if you combine the qualifying points, we are 31 points already to the good, and 13 points clear of Nick De Vries. So it's looking good already after just one race, or not even that, just half a race weekend. And in terms of the team standings, we of course lead by 4 points. So even though Ilott scored no points, more contribution was enough to keep us ahead of everybody else. But we're now going to move into the next race, and that is the sprint race. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on.